everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
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 Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is Virk, also known as Naveed Virk. I'm your tutor as well as host for today's meeting. And welcome to everybody's not so favorite property law. Everybody's ready with your coffee?
Hello, Ms. Gulberg. Thank you for your time.
Wow, Mr. Ahmed, you look so relaxed. I'm jealous.
Yeah, because you are going to do everything.
I really like the relaxed look, right? Good evening.
Yeah, I'm just relaxing because that is your show. Today is your show. Huh?
Thank you. No, I'm excited to meet everybody in not so favorite property law.
Yeah. That is why I'm just relaxing. So that is not my desk to to teach. When I'm teaching, then I'm on a different desk. Huh?
I know we are all a little bit
Yeah.
different.
But this is just I'm relaxing. That's why I'm here.
Wonderful. Anybody has heard anything about property which is kind of bothering you and kind of you need an answer for that? So we can start our conversation from there.
Gulbik, should we, can you please, I think it has already been shared in the WhatsApp group as well, because some of the students, they could not maybe find me on Messenger.
Yes, I've shared it over there. That's what I'm wondering. Like,
Okay.
I'm gonna.
So we can share it again, huh?
Yeah. No, I sent.
Yeah, we can share it again.
So we'll wait for 2-3 minutes so that everybody can settle and join. You guys can have your cameras on, and if we put it on, even though it is recorded, we can block this part, the introduction part, and then we can only use whatever we are.
So property law exam is in April, right, Miss?
Correct. It's in April, and I hope everybody has booked their dates.
Mm-hmm.
So we are all set. We are still accepting more people. Let's wait for 2 or 3
I
minutes.
think still we are in the process of joining a few.
Yeah, no, we can wait for everybody else to join.
Yeah.
Hello, Shelly, Aman,
Hello.
Ritajinder Pal. You can have your, if you wish, you can have your cameras on. So if I bump into you in the mall, I can say, hey.
Yeah.
Hello, Vivian. Good you. I see two very, very nice kids in the red t-shirt. May I meet their parent?
So all of you know Gurvik. She's a senior barrister and solicitor, and both of us are just trying to help you. This is a free session. All of you know Ms. Gurvik. She's a lawyer, and some of you also know me. I'm Amar Ahmed. I'm also a lawyer in Alberta, and this session is just to give you an idea how to do self-study and how to prepare for the property law. Thank you for your time, Ms. Gurvik.
It's really exciting to, meet everyone and be part of your legal journey. And so I would introduce myself. I'm a lawyer. I was in your place 10 years ago, rather 10 plus years ago. In January 2010, I wrote my constitution, and then in May, I wrote my criminal and criminal and admin. I was only given 3 exams. So this is my journey. And then I did interior bar, and I started this company, Canadian Law Tutor. I'm a founder of Canadian Law Tutor, and I enjoy teaching. I love it. It's my passion. Sometimes it's overwhelming. I understand your journey. I understand your difficulties. You guys are But trust me, you are in a much more informed environment than what I was or Mr. Amar was. Like things were not that, clear at that time. You don't know with whom to approach, what to do, and things like that. But now you guys have help of each other. You have a big network, so this is amazing. As you are helping each other, so I'm trying to help you in this process. So we have new people in the group. So once again, hello everybody. Good evening. So we're going to extend this session a little bit. So we should be continue till beyond 9:15. So if you have any appointment at 9:15, you may leave with no apology required. But I would continue so that you can have best of my session and start preparing for your property law. So let's start with our updated syllabus of property law. I'm going to share my screen and let's start from here. Oh, hello. Who is there? I heard a very cute voice. So what is our property law looks like and what do we, need to know? What are the main things in the property law exam that we need to remember? So property law exam is a test for your understanding of this subject. So first of all, we are trying to understand how property was even came into picture in Canada, correct? As we know, most of you have already finished your constitutional law exam or your, foundation law exam. So you understand the concept of Aboriginal title. So Aboriginal title is also partially tested. It is a small, I would say 10 or 15% or sometimes 20% of your exam component, which you already know. So it should give you a sense of assurance in the work. Property law subject is first of all understanding how Canadian property law was evolved, how Canadian property law, what are the sources, and what is the concept of property in Canada. Do we have anybody in our group today who has already done property in UK and who understand partial concept of this thing? I would love to have your input and try to build the session around the knowledge you already have about the property law, because there are different levels when we are trying to introduce a concept. There are different levels to introduce the concept. So I would love to build my lesson based on what you already know or what you most of have an understanding regarding the property law. Anybody having any preconception about this subject and a preconception about this concept? I would love to have your input. Do we have a volunteer in our class? Raise your hand. Anybody who has done property law from UK or any other common law country would like to give me an idea? What is the concept of property? To be very specific, what are the main features of property law which you remember from your law school?
Yeah, hi, my name is Shiri. Sorry, my camera
Hi,
is off.
Shiri.
So I did American property law,
Wonderful.
and so basically it was life estate, estates, and was there, and then principle of registration, like title
Yes, electronic
registration, and
registration or
then
a
life.
paper form registration. Yes, very good.
Exactly. And then the basic main component was life estate, and then fee simple, basically that it covers that. And then boundaries was also included. What would be the boundary of and then the squatter's right, so adverse possession. So these were the main concept which I
Very
studied.
good, Shireen. You are right on track. Yeah, very good. So Canadian
Thank you.
property law NCA syllabus is similar to that. So we would be doing back and forth lots of these concepts. So anybody else? I saw Pragya, unmuted herself for a second. Pragya, was it accidental or you would like to say something to me?
No, actually, that was accidental.
Okay, no problem.
I'm just listening.
Okay, so that's okay. So what are we learning in the property law? So in property law, the first concept we are going to ask, first of all, I would try to tell. So we have a new person. Welcome, Vivian. So you haven't missed anything. We haven't substantially started about anything. We are just giving the overview of the subject. So NCA, first of all, itself is a self-study system. The best friend of NCA in your journey is your syllabus. So I would highly recommend you to go through your syllabus from point number 1 to the last point, so you understand what are the major concepts. So the biggest, kind of mistake we make is we try to go around the things rather than going with the things, or going with the flow of the things. So the property law, you would read the syllabus and you will find the major concept regarding, very nicely elaborated and very nicely provided, for the reason. Do we have a share screen? No, not yet. Give me 1 second. So I was saying, we will, the best friend for us in this process is our property law. Sorry, syllabus. So our syllabus is our best friend. It's a self-study system. Let's see how we can empower your study via this session. So as we had a friend, Shireen, who introduced the basic property concept. The basic property concept, we need to understand how Canadian property came into existence and how it works in practice. So Canadian property law came into an existence that it was already with Aboriginal people, right? The land, whatever they knew and whatever they had. After that, we learned with the Britishers, the modern property system came into the picture. So the modern system came into the picture and the property was allocated in big chunk to other people. So Canadian property law is a little bit different. If you read certain cases, you will find that, so if you see, Canadian property law is very much similar in principle to what we have in Australia, because over there also the property was not kind of, there was no colony as such as it was in India or Pakistan or South Africa. So every country has its own history. So because of their own history in whatever we were 300 years ago, or whatever we were 400 years ago, that is what shaped our principles of property law. So property law is a little bit different. If we take in the practical sense, it is different. Proper right to you must have heard in 9213 of Constitution of Canada that property and civil rights is a provincial matter. So property registration is handled by the provinces, their own system. If I'm going to Alberta to buy a property, there would be another system. If I'm going to BC, there would be another system. If I'm going to Ontario, Manitoba, they would have their own system. So property registration varies with province to province. But for argument's sake, in this subject, as well as contract law, we take the basic model of Ontario and we discuss around that for the registration and everything. So other than that, when we go to the history of our country's property and trying to understand, the one bigger chunk is understanding the Aboriginal title, how Aboriginal title can be, how Aboriginal title can be established, how it can be abolished, and what it means in the modern system for us, right? Now, the next big thing we are trying to understand is history of Canadian property law. The Canadian property law means that originally everything was crown patent. The first document which had every piece of property in Ontario, every single piece of property in Canada documented, was the basic document was the crown patent. It means crown patent was the basic document which had the all the accounting for the property. So this 200-acre land, that 2000 acre, those 4000 acres. First of all, there was a crown patent for that. Correct? The first document was crown patent. So when we are trying to understand what the crown patent is the source of title of a property in Canada. Do we make sense? Crown patent means simply a record. So I would like to have few people on, camera so that I'm not talking to myself and kind of, thank you, Rose. You're giving me a little bit, keep nodding. And if you don't understand, keep nodding like that so that I know what I'm doing. Yeah. So the first concept we are trying to, the bigger concept, which is kind of confusing for the students as time, is the crown patent. What we are trying to understand what crown patent is. Crown patent is the basic record of property. So everything first belonged to the crown, then it was given to the people, correct? It was given to into the big chunks to the people. So then they created concessions over that. Those are big chunks. Those things were called the royal grant. So the first thing is the crown patent, and the next big concept is called the royal grant. That's how the property came into the next level, right? Crown, the government's its own system, and after that it came into the royal grant. So royal grant was given to, for example, Rose got 2,000 acres of land, and that was the royal grant. Now that 2,000 acre is a kind of a big chunk of land, private ownership of Rose via royal grant, correct? So that's how property came into the hands of private individuals. So everything what we are learning right, in our syllabus may not be, scope of our introductory lessons, but I'm giving you the bigger introduction, the bigger chunks of the land, and we are trying to understand how the land is. Now let's take up the example of Rose 2,000 acres land, right? Rose can pledge it. Rose can write it up in a will, correct? Rose can give it on a rent to somebody. Somebody can become a tenant. They can do the agriculture. So even in agriculture, they can be tenant. They can be people who can be using that land via mining rights, right? So once you have a big chunk of land, you can have further various rights evolved from that ownership, correct? You can sell it, you can gift it, you can pledge it, you can give it via gift or estate via creating a will to somebody. You can create another type of charity ownership on that. So you can create a grant around that. You can say, I'm going to make a park on this land, right? So I'm going to put conditions on that, that for next 200 acres, this would be a park for children, correct? So we have to see whether those kind of things can run with the land or not. That concept is called covenants running with the land, right? So an agreement or condition running with the land. So land can be pledged, land can be sold, land can be gifted, land can be divided into pieces, land can be you can give the mining rights on lands. So those things we would learn in our syllabus in the more complex way, and try to understand what it means, correct, for you as a student of property law. And then we will also learn how we can explain in our exam answer, how can we argue the ownership right of the person in the property belonging onto that, correct? So this is the bigger, like the very simple way of putting under the land. Now there is another concept called legal boundaries. So what is legal boundary? Legal boundary means I cannot own the whole universe above my property, right? There is a legal limit of my property. Legal boundary of my property means how much I own. I may be having a land next to, say, a lake. I believe, hi Gurpreet, you have raised a hand, go ahead.
Yeah, I have one simple question regarding the previously you mentioned about the covenants on the land, right? If supposed to be any condition will be on that land, then the person cannot transfer, right? So
there may be transfers, or those conditions may be kind of cancelled by the court. So there can be a situation where we would be required to analyze it, right?
okay, that will be the same like condition precedent and the condition subsequent. That will be the same concept, right?
No, those are basically coming from condition subsequent and condition precedent is a little bit beyond the scope of our shortcut discussion today. But that simply means those conditions mean when I'm transferring the land to you. For example, I'm selling my property to you, and you will be like, go make sure your patio is in, I don't want to buy your property in this condition. I want the property to be, the patio of your property to be lined fresh. So I want fresh glass. So that is a precondition for the property.
Yeah, before if you want to transfer, you should have to complete that condition.
Complete that thing. So this is basically related to transaction in the real estate world.
Yeah,
But
then
what I am trying to give over as an example with Rose 2000 acres. Rose, you are enjoying being owner of 2000 acres?
we will.
I said, are you enjoying being owner of 2000 acre via Royal Grant?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. That's the spirit I need in my class. This is what I love about this, doing these sessions. This is the energy, this is the question, and, be able to simplify things, right? Because when I was going through the process, I may be very, very overwhelmed and, like what I'm going to do with all this information. So if you have somebody who can, kind of break it down and put the pieces in the puzzle at a proper place, then it's more walkable for you, right?
Yes.
So that's how it's going to work. So we were going to the legal boundary, the concept. So we need a volunteer over here who pushes us back. No. We were going back to this. So legal boundary means how much I own in a piece of property. Legal boundary means if I am having I buy a cottage. I invite you guys, like, okay, my class would be on Saturday. It's a free class with free barbecue, and it's on my cottage. Correct? And you are guys are so impressed. You're saying, oh ma'am, we love this scenario. We love the beach and everything. So do you own it? I says, yes, I own it. But no, I don't own it. The legal boundary of the water, what is the legal implication of that thing is, if I live on a cottage, okay, do I own it? So there is one concept is called 66-foot reservation, which you would come again and again, and this is kind of very confusing. Trust me, it was very confusing when I was doing bar exam as well. So 66-foot reservation simply means from the legal boundary of the water towards your land, the crown, via crown grant and by the rules of the government, you always have 66-foot reservation left for the process. For them, they might start they might start making roads anytime they want to, right? So when you came to my cottage for that barbecue, you were so excited. You were like, oh ma'am, you have this ownership. I was like, yeah, this beach is all mine. No, that beach is not mine. That's not my legal boundary, right? So as a property law student, we need to understand how much property you actually own. So it can get complicated when I have forest, when I have water boundary, right? When I have erosion, floods. So those are legal concepts which we are learning. But I'm just giving you an overview and kind of comfort, to knowing like, oh, this is what it actually means. So when you start self-studying, or you start working with me, or anywhere else, when you start studying, you should have like some benefit of knowing what it means, right? Another restriction on my legal boundary is I do not own the whole sky, right? So my legal boundary stops somewhere above me, right? So if you're flying your drone and I sue you for invasion of my property, and I sue you for trespass, I sue you for violation of my right of property, there is a limit I can claim, correct?
Yes, within a reasonable limit. Yeah.
Within a reasonable limit. So when we learn the things, then we will learn how those things go into more detail and how those things can be implicated in the property law concept. So my job over here is to give you an overview to understand what it means to be a property law student, or what it means to be a property law candidate for NCA exam process. What type of things we are bumping into, correct? Because as a student, the biggest mistake we make is we kind of start working on too bigger concept, spend 20 days on reading on that. We have no idea what else is there. So we have to have the overall picture, connect the dots so that we know like this is what I need to know from this, right? So this is what our property law looks like. Any other person would like to? Sony, we have wonderful people. So anybody have any questions so far for me? Whatever I have discussed, do you understand this or you want me to repeat any concept, I would love to do so.
I have just a question.
Yes, please.
So when we will decide the within a reasonable limit, then we will apply the test that is the same like when we were in the criminal law, reasonable prudent person test, right? In the objective.
There is a lot of things, Gurpreet. We can't
Okay.
take this thing into a too much depth. So everybody who doesn't know things in that much detail in that, right? We don't want to
Okay,
scare anyone. We want them to feel empowered and see.
okay,
Right?
thank you so much.
So this is not an exam. Let's not take into the exam workshop scenario. So you're more than welcome to attend my exam workshops or my proper courses to, do overheads. The purpose of this class is to give us, an overall overview so that when you start self-studying, you should feel empowered. Like, oh, I know, I attended class with Virk. I know what my syllabus looks like and I walk through this.
Okay,
Right?
thank you so much.
Yeah, so this is what. Now, shared ownership. Let's talk about that. What is shared ownership? So Rose, I'm your cousin now. I know I'm a greedy cousin. You own 2,000 acres of land. I'm your greedy cousin. I'm saying, you know what? You are getting this royal grant. Dear sister, can I join in with the title, on the title with you, correct? So I may be your joint owner. You'll be like, girl, I love you, but I don't love you that much. I will give you 5% of ownership, right? How do you make sure that I only get 5% of ownership, right? That is via tenant in common. So on the title, you will have me as a tenant in common. It means you can decide the percentage of the property, right, given to the other person. Plus, it does not give me the right of survivorship. Or it vice versa, it is true in the other processes. So tenant in common means I own my 5%, you own your 95%, right? It can be 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, 50-50, any other way, correct? So then we will learn the case studies. We go into much details to decide what can happen or cannot happen in a tenancy in common. To be, a property law student, we will be required to do into more detail. But the bottom line is tenancy in common means we are on the ownership of a land. We are tenant in common. It means we have no right of survivorship in that. Whereas when we take title as joint tenants, we have automatic right of survivorship given to the other person. So right of survivorship means if I die, Rose become 100% owner of the property without any problem, correct? Then we have more things like easements. We have easements means I can allow you to. So I own. Remember, I had a cottage where you were coming to attend a free class and free barbecue, right? So in that situation, I allow you to, via paperwork, allow you to come every summer for 15 days to do barbecue, spend the summer with me. That would be a right of easement, correct? So you have a dominant right over my property, and my property is serving you, correct? So then we will go more into detail and are trying to understand how these can be created, how these can be, severed, how can we have. Welcome you. You have a question. Go ahead.
Yes, my question is with regards to easement that you mentioned. Yes. My previous understanding of easement is, for instance, I have a property and maybe my property is has access to maybe like a major road, and you cannot access that major road, unless you pass through my property. Then we come into an agreement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Then we come into some kind of agreement and say, okay, you can pass through that space. Use it as a thoroughfare.
Yes, that's one example of easement.
Okay.
I can have an apple tree, and you can, be given permanent grant as well. So there are multiple ways. It can be easement, can be like that. You have a apple tree, right? but that apple tree kind of encroach on my property. I didn't, object on that, or we had an understanding regarding those apples, right? So there are multiple ways to create an easement, end an easement, and imply an easement as well. Then we have the ownership component of property that is called priorities, registration, how. So now we have a digital system in almost all provinces. Canadian property ownership is fully digitalized, so we cannot fool the system, right? Earlier, it was possible under registry system. Your person A owns a property, he goes and sells it to B, right? And then A also sells the same document to C fraudulently or something like that. There was long weekend, so B did not register it into the registry system. He didn't do the transfer. So end of the day, C got get priority in the ownership over B. So that kind of fraudulent conveyances were possible under registry system. Now we have a digitalized, optimized system in which that sort of things are not happening. When we are going into detail, that's how we would go and do the basic components of this. Do we have this thing? Clarity about the concepts? So that's how we will go and try to understand how different type of ownership rights, easements right, license right, tenant rights, ownership via will can be created in the property, right? So let's take everybody else's question and start talking to everybody in more detail. So Rose, your takeaway from today's class is you got a royal grant for 2,000 acres. This is what you get as a benefit when you are on camera. So do you end up having apples on my apple tree, right? And Gurpreet, you got a free right to come for the barbecue every summer as a right granted over my cottage property. So who wants anything else? So let's start giving property right to everybody. So Sani, we have wonderful, wonderful energy in the class. I can sense that, but I don't see the question. If you ask me question, I can give you more answers and break it down into the more detail. So Aman, we have you. I hope nobody's sleeping like my children. My children would sometime go to Zoom class and they would sleep. So Aman, do we have any question for this concept? Do you have any preparation question about me, about the way I teach, the way the subject is going to work and all that stuff?
Hello. Hi, this is Salim. So I have a simple question. As I heard from one of my colleagues in US, state cannot confiscate the property. And in Canada, they can confiscate the property.
That is called, yes, that's a very good question, Salim. And first of all, congratulations. You have wonderful boys. I love the smiles.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So I was saying, yes, confiscate. We don't say confiscate. That the legal word for that is appropriation of property. Appropriation of property. That means government can acquire by giving you fair. You must have done admin law. So in admin law, we learned about how the notice and everything works in the picture, correct?
Yeah.
So the government would acquire your property via right of appropriation, and they would give you fair compensation. There would be notes. Yes. So if we go to Scotland, we see that there are so many castles. There's so much stuff, correct? So now I own a house and you own your place. It is not like a castle. We cannot say I am, putting, say, quads, pillars on my house, outside my house. I'm making entrance via quads and things like that because I believe my generation's going to live in this house. No, it doesn't work like that in Canada. So they would give me free ownership. So in Canada, the right of ownership is called fee simple. If you pull out your own ownership deed of your own property, you will see the right of ownership in Canada is called fee simple interest. So fee simple interest is the maximum legal rights you can own as an owner in Canadian property. Are we clear? So that is always subject to, so I own my property, I can sell it to you. I can go to BMO and take loan on that property. I can do whatever I want to do on my property, subject to the city's bylaws, but I cannot assume it is like a castle in Scotland that I'm going to put very nice quads. It's not like Taj Mahal. It cannot like look like that, and it cannot stay like that forever. Because if government want, they can have it via right of appropriation, via compensation, and that's where the admin law kicks in, right? So they had to be noticed, they have to be fair share and natural justice, and if it is a federal government, then Bill of Rights would be triggered, and things like that would happen. But as far as technically speaking, our right of ownership in Canada is called fee simple interest. Are we clear? Fee simple interest, technically speaking, right of ownership, everything we can own except kind of making it, converting into Taj Mahal and expecting it to be living like, being like this forever. Are we clear? Thank you very much for this question, Salim. I almost missed this concept. Even though it was on my mind to discuss.
I'm thinking compensation in US, it comes with the provincial and federal bill of rights, right?
Pardon me, say one more time.
Compensation compensation in Canada comes because of federal bill of rights and provincial bill of rights.
That's a different thing, but even otherwise, there is no. There's a federal bill of rights. I don't know what is provincial bill of rights is.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other question which you believe you should have asked in the first property law class?
Good evening.
Good
sorry,
evening, Denny. May I have your have you on the camera so that when
I'm afraid to put on my camera.
That's okay, no problem. Go ahead. Ask
No,
your
I'll put on my camera. Hello, everybody.
Hi. All I want is, like, if I bump into you in the mall, I should be able to ask for free coffee.
Well, I would be surprised if you bump into me in the mall in North Battleford in Saskatchewan, but nevertheless.
Trust me, I've been in Saskatchewan. I've drove through. I've done Canada coast to coast.
I just want a question that's related to your tutoring, but maybe not necessarily directly to what you're busy with today. And I want to ask, I've been in search, and I think most of us are in search of practical guidance. And I'm guessing this is an introduction. I want to venture even to go further to say maybe this is sort of a part of a sale technique. Maybe not, maybe that's too forthright, and then I apologize for that. But the question is, do you have some practical questions that you put out? Is that part of a bigger program that we pay for?
Yes, that's for a bigger program, practical. That's like basically I assume you're talking about, correct me if I'm wrong, about the exam workshop and how to attempt the question, how to identify the issues?
Yeah, that specifically, yes.
Yes, I do that kind of programs close to the exam.
Okay. And because I think, look, I can understand what you're busy with, creating the context, which I think is very, very good. And for us that have just started studying for property law specifically, that's going to help. But I have found, and I think a lot of my colleagues on this call will agree, the biggest and most important part for us is to actually get practical. Eventually,
of course,
to get
you would get the practical aspect, but the practical aspect, before that, we should be very, very prepared. I teach this course in the bar exam as well, for bar exam of Ontario and BC bar program. I do teach property law to them as well, and Canadian law students as well. But I've seen is, if you get the basic difference between A and B in property law, then the application is very smooth, right? So if you come to me for my exam workshop, you are more than welcome to join me in my exam workshops. I do for almost all courses. So but make sure you know the concepts. Even if you're studying with a tutor, you're working with a university program, or you're doing on your own. The basic key area to pass the concept of property law is to knowing things. Like, there are a lot of gray areas in the property. So gray shade, like it's like a shade card. I always say property law is shade card. So we have to, with the proper, understanding of the case laws, you can prepare this case subject really well, and then start attempting the question. Somebody gave me a very, very good advice when I was doing my exam for NCAs. They said, don't start doing the question in your first, a stage of preparation, because it's going to freak you out. Unless you are very, very comfortable with the concept. For example, you have practiced 10 years in UK or India or Pakistan or some other country, wherever you're from America, your criminal practice every day, and you start, look at the exam syllabus, you look at the question, you start going for that. But after that, if you're like me, who didn't have the much exposure in the process, it really freaked me out when I started doing the question. So your question should be left for the stage once you have completed your syllabus. Don't worry how it's going to be tested. The first phase of your study, as per as my experience and my recommendation, is surrender to the studying, surrender to the basic concept, develop your thinking around that concept, and then start doing the questions. This is what my recommendation is. But I would, you can join me on my Canadian Law Tutor website or my page as well. And we have groups as well. So I would be posting everywhere when I start doing my exam workshops. You're more than welcome for that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any question?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, I am from India, New Delhi.
Wonderful,
Surinder.
sir. It's nice, pleasure having you in my class.
Yeah, about property law class. When you will be taking the class?
My schedule would be finalized by, I think, tomorrow, and I'll be sending out the emails for the class details.
At what time? Because time is of crucial importance to me. There is a time difference then, because.
So yes, I understand the concern. So the time difference, if you guys can just send me a message about your time zones as well. So, I would love to have you, because I have an idea about the basic time zones in India and, UK, and I've been working on that. But if there is more accommodation required, I would love to,
Yeah, because in India, it is in the morning, 7:45.
Yes, sir. I started my, Canadian Law Tutor while I was in India. So I am very well aware of how time zones work with everyone. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because it shouldn't be very odd. That is very important.
Yes. No, that's very, it has to be productive time zones.
Yes.
So yes, thank you. Anybody else has any specific question about this subject or any this thing?
About easements, you are explaining. This is quite, I think, one of the most difficult chapters in property law. Right. I have very, very tricky also.
Yes, so you will see when we are going through the owner basic case laws, the way it is broken down in the case laws, it's very easy to walk through. Then we understand the concept of who is so basically we understand the mindset of the examiner as well. So what they're trying to teach us, if we absorb that, then we would be able to navigate the process as well. So I think I would be able to provide you more detail in that. So anybody else, any other questions? So we are running over time, and it was wonderful, wonderful meeting you. Okay. And
so
now
you will be sending information about the meeting on in this WhatsApp or
yes, WhatsApp, Messenger. You can drop your email, so it would be on my page, Canadian Law Tutor. I have a Facebook page on Canadian Law Tutor as well, so it would be right there as well.
Okay. Thank
Hello,
you.
Lisa. Do you have any questions?
One last question. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm asking that how often would you have these classes? Like,
so I was saying it would be the whole schedule will be available. Don't worry. So everybody who has attended this, you would have access to schedule. Don't worry about that. Okay. So if you have any specific question regarding the subject, I would like to have that help you with that. So Lisa, you had a question?
Yeah. First of all, how do I pronounce your name? Sorry.
My name is Gul, G-U-L.
Okay. Thank you, Gul.
Gul.
Thank you for putting this session together. So my question was really around the line that you were speaking initially when you were talking about the syllabus. You were talking about the different topics, the 11 major topics. And I know you mentioned the comment, you had a comment, you said Aboriginal property usually comes between 5 to 20% of the questions. So in that regard, I was just wondering if property law is set in that kind of context where you can identify some key topics that usually
So this is my understanding, that I believe that it is 15 to 20%. If I am saying, that's like a huge concept as per me. Like for example, for foundation, I say it's lot. So it's not my position to judge like how much any area would be allocated, but this is what I believe.
No, I agree with you. And I wasn't saying that. What I was trying to reference was, are there other key topics, or do you want to continue with your rundown of topics and maybe flag some key topics you think, in your
I
own
don't
opinion?
work that way. I believe, like, because in a story, as I gave you an example with Rose, right? Rose can give property to me as a tenant. You can be a squatter, and Gurpreet can be, having a mining rights. If we skip one thing, we just mess up the whole story.
Okay, that's fine. No, it's just because
No, I understand that's everybody's curious, and as a student, I would be in the same. That's a very valid and curious question. But the way I work, I think everything is important. The breaking down the concept and the relationship.
Okay, thank you.
And we all need your address, Rose, now, because you have the royal grant with 2,000 acres. Yes.
Thanks.
So it was very, very nice meeting you guys. It's a pleasure being here. As your host and your tutor. I hope your takeaway would be your empowered self-studies. If you need my help, I'm here. I run these courses all the time. You're welcome to join, and I wish you good luck for your studies. And if you have any questions,
Thank you so much for your time, Ms. Gulberg. I know your time is very precious, and you have a busy schedule as all the tutors have. So thank you for your time. And I
no, our law students are very precious. So I'm thankful to you as well for making this happen. And so thank you very much. It was really, really exciting meeting you. And thank you very much for joining my class. And don't forget to buy me a coffee if you see me in the mall. So don't underestimate my traveling skills. I can be any part of the world or any part of Canada at any time. I've done Canada coast to coast.
Good luck to everyone. Ms. Gulberg will post her schedule in this messenger group. So we have created two groups. One is on Messenger and one is on the WhatsApp. But when she decides to start the regular tutoring session for property law, then she will have a maybe different way of reaching out to you. But if you are interested, you can just maybe post in the group that you are interested, and for if you need further information, you can either reach Ms. Gul.
Yes, you have my number, you have Mr. Ahmed's number, so it'll be
so you can either reach me or you
to,
can contact directly Ms. Gulberg, and she will be starting the regular session soon. Thank you so much, Ms. Gulberg, for your time.
Yes, take care. Bye-bye. It was really, really nice meeting you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Thank you.